Guys, what's going on? Welcome to Cereal at Midnight, the official YouTube channel of cerealatmidnight.com. My name is Heath. I'm glad you're here because in this video we're going to talk about something near and dear to my heart. We're going to talk about the Rankin and Bass Christmas specials. You know the ones I'm talking about. Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, Frosty the Snowman, Santa Claus is Coming to Town. Rankin and Bass is the studio behind all of those 60s stop-motion animation classics. They brought a style. I wouldn't say that they invented the Christmas special, but they certainly mastered the Christmas special, and they kind of set the model for the next 20, 30 years. And it says something that we're still, like Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, and maybe even Frosty too, still come on broadcast television every single year, even though it's been, coming up on 60 years for that show. Rankin and Bass clearly like deeply rooted into our culture. But I don't know that Rankin and Bass is widely recognized as a studio. And obviously, I'm a big fan of Rankin Bass. I love stop motion. I love what they did while they were around. One of their last gasps creatively was the Thundercats series in the 80s. And then shortly after that, they kind of folded. But for a long time there, for a good 20-something years, Rankin and Bass was cranking out classics. So I just want to talk about some of those, specifically the holiday classics in this video, maybe through the lens of physical media as you are able to buy them and see them. Because some of them are very obscure these days, which is unfortunate. But I'm going to start with this. This is the new release. This just came out a matter of weeks ago. This is the original Christmas specials collection, and this is like the third time I've bought these. Okay, so let's go back in time. Originally, this came out is this big brick. Many of you guys might know this. This was a huge seller. 2007 is when this came out, so this is over a decade old. And this is 7 Rankin Bass Christmas classics. We've got Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, Frosty the Snowman, Santa Claus is Coming to Town, The Little Drummer Boy, Mr. Magoo's Christmas Carol, Cricket on the Hearth, and Frosty Returns, which actually isn't Rankin Bass. As far as I know, Frosty Returns from 1992, I think it is, not Rankin and Bass. And then years went by, the high definition format came out, and they got upgraded to this. And this is the same 7 Christmas specials, the exact same 7 Christmas specials, but this time they're on Blu-ray. And so we upgraded to these. And unfortunately, there was a problem with Santa Claus is Coming to Town, because whoever was responsible for getting these authored and mastered or whatever, there were like commercial fade outs when there weren't commercials. So that somebody would be in the middle of a song and it would like fade to commercial, like fade to black, and then fade right back in again. Multiple incidents of that on the Santa Claus is Coming to Town movie special, not a movie, it's a special. And so they had to issue a replacement disc for this. So I got the replacement disc for this and I was like, well, this is the last time I will be buying these. But it wasn't. Now I have this, and I gotta say, so far this seems to be the best presentation for Rudolph, which has been remastered, Frosty, and Santa Claus is Coming to Town. As far as I know, I think all 3 of those have been spruced up. There was like an audio glitch in Rudolph where during the song Silver and Gold, they left out a lyric, like a line. It's actually just a word, but it's been fixed. And this, they've carried over The Little Drummer Boy and Cricket on the Hearth, but they have dropped Mr. Magoo's Christmas Carol and Frosty Returns, which I'm okay with, especially since I've already got them 2 other times, right? But here's the thing. As of this video right now, The Little Drummer Boy has those dropouts like Santa Claus is Coming to Town has, where somebody will be in the middle of a dialogue and then whoop, fade to black, whoop, fade back in. So still waiting to see if there's going to be a replacement disc program for Little Drummer Boy, but still don't have it quite right. It's unfortunate. But this, if you're looking for these Rankin Bass Christmas, the big 3, it's Rudolph, Frosty, and Santa Claus. That's the 3 selling points of this. But this is the way to go, I believe. And there's some really cool new special features. Most of these releases have never had very good special features, but this does. This has it has some commentaries on here. It has a restoration of the puppets for Rudolph, which is only about 3 minutes, but it's actually really informative. And the selling point for some people is going to be this special feature. I won't call it a documentary because it's not, but it's just kind of a talking piece called The Animagic World of Rankin Bass. And I took notes while I was watching it so I could tell you guys kind of, it's 47 minutes, and it's got, among its like talking heads, Henry Selick, the director of The Nightmare Before Christmas, Jon Favreau, the director of Elf, Kevin Lima, the director of Enchanted, Chris Butler, who's the director of Paranorman. It even has like some comic book people, like Mark Evanier is a guy. He does a commentary for Frosty. I believe it's Frosty. Mark Evanier is a superhero writer. Like he's been in the comics community for a while. Kind of a pop culture guy. So it's cool to see him. And Adam Murdo, who is one of the founding members of Comic Geek Speak when podcasts were brand new, 2005-ish, 2004, whatever. Adam Murdo was one of the first comic book podcasters on Comic Geek Speak. And side note, Comic Geek Speak was so formative. It was one of the reasons that I started podcasting all those years ago. Came from podcasting, dropped out of podcasting, came back. Now I'm doing YouTube stuff. So it's just really interesting. But Adam Murdo has been in that community for a really long time. So, but having said all of that, the 47-minute special feature is very unfocused, and there's very little information in it as much as it's just people saying things like, Rankin Bass was great. They were really ahead of their game, and they did a lot of really cool things. Those characters look great, and they have such unique styling. Rankin Bass was great. It's about 47 minutes of that. So not without value, but not what I want from a special feature. Like I would have loved to have a documentary about how these things were created, which is why it's unfortunate that there's a man. His name is Rick Goldschmidt. And he's kind of the keeper of the flame for Rankin Bass. He's written books. He has a lot of the original assets, like some of the puppets, some of the artwork, like a lot of the sketch designs. He has reels of the original negative footage for some of this stuff. Like he is the keeper of the Rankin Bass flame. And he was not asked to be involved in this, which is unfortunate. And he really could have brought a lot to the table. So we still, while this is probably the best way to go in our modern time as far as getting your hands on these specials, it's not a home run. It hasn't been completely done to the best of its ability. But I would also say, if you're going to pick that up, I would also recommend to you The Year Without Santa Claus. This is very famous Rankin Bass special. This is the movie that introduced the Heat Miser. I'm Mr. Heat Miser. Thank you. But I do want to shout out a very special box set that I still cherish, and it's this. This is, what is this called? Classic Christmas Favorites. This is Warner Brothers. It's interesting because this collection is classic media, which I think has now been maybe purchased by DreamWorks. Let's see. Let's do some in-video research really quick. So this is classic media distributed by Universal. So Universal apparently either distributes or owns classic media. So let's say Universal Classic Media. And this is Warner Brothers. So you can see the rights are different companies. Different people have different rights. So this is 10 specials, okay? 9 of them are Rankin Bass. And one of them is not. And it's How the Grinch Stole Christmas, which I have also bought multiple times. This is the 50th anniversary collection. But this collection is invaluable because this has the lesser known, the cult ones. This has The Leprechaun's Christmas Gold, Pinocchio's Christmas, The Stingiest Man in Town, Rudolph's Shiny New Year, Nestor the Long-Eared Christmas Donkey, which was one of my mom's favorites when I was a kid. Frosty's Winter Wonderland, Twas the Night Before Christmas, which I think is also on Blu-ray now. I need to upgrade that to Blu-ray. And Rudolph and Frosty's Christmas in July, which is a feature-length Rankin and Bass movie featuring Rudolph and Frosty. It's a crossover, you guys. It's like Avengers before Avengers. What? Oh my gosh, it's like Avengers Infinity War with Rudolph and Frosty. But this is so fantastic. Why didn't they just leave the Grinch off of this and market this? You notice none of these are marketed as Rankin Bass. Like this, all of these movies, all these collections, they never say Rankin Bass. This is what I'm talking about. Rankin Bass kind of underappreciated, kind of obscure, which is really unfortunate because they built childhood for a lot of people. Like, I think I'm not the only one, right? When you think about Christmas time, you got to think about some of these specials. I know I think about Charlie Brown, I think about the Grinch, and I think about the Rankin Bass Christmas specials. And they did other holiday specials too. There's like an Easter special. I believe Here Comes Peter Cottontail is the name of the Easter one with Vincent Price. Vincent Price? Yes, Vincent. I will spare you. But that's really the point of this video. I just wanted to shout out some Rankin Bass to talk about this new edition and how close but no cigar, but still probably the best way to get these if you want to watch them. Oh, I will mention, so Frosty the Snowman, obviously a classic, and then Frosty Returns is the one that got dropped after this collection. So if you want Frosty Returns from the 90s, it's on this collection. It's also on the brick set too, the big silver brick set. But Frosty's Winter Wonderland was the official sequel to, like, Frosty Returns. It's not Rankin Bass. As far as I know, it's not Rankin Bass. It doesn't have the same voice talent behind it. But Frosty's Winter Wonderland came out in the 70s, and it is the official sequel to Frosty the Snowman. So if you want that one, you're only going to get it in this cool red brick set. I don't even know if this is in print anymore. Hopefully it is, and hopefully it's dirt cheap. So I would recommend, listen, you guys watch this channel, you probably like physical media, right? You got to check out, you got to get this. You got to get this red brick set. You got to support this, because right now, listen, seriously, this is dirt cheap right now. I think it's $12.99 on Amazon US. I don't know about other countries or other parts of the world, but on Amazon US, it's $12.99 for 5 Christmas specials. Good grief, guys. I really love Rankin Bass. Rankin Bass is very special to me. I do plan to do a video one of these days, like an actual journalistic video, where I go over the history of Rankin Bass as a company, because they did incredible stuff. Mad Monster Party. Like I said, Thundercats, they had a feature film in the late 80s that I'm dying to talk about, but this is not the place. This is Christmas time. So guys, what do you think about the Christmas classics? What are your Christmas classics? Thanks for hanging out watching this video. The drive to 10,000 subscribers continues. February, the channel is 2 years old. I want 10,000 subscribers. I want you, like, subscribe. It's going to be huge. Contests, giveaways. Let's all be a part of it together. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate you guys so much. One more video before Christmas. Have a wonderful holiday season. Have a Merry Christmas. And I will catch you later.